Dear aspirants, greetings to every one of you and welcome to our today's class. In today's class, we're going to be looking at the topic administrative control and control of the administration. So this is a topic under administrative law and administrative litigation, and it is another important topic which you need to understand very well, and I'm going to make it very easy for you to understand in my explanation. So the first thing, I'm going to give you the program that we're going to be following in exhausting today's lesson. So we're going to start with the introduction. That means you have to understand what administrative control and control of the administration is, and then after that we are going to look at the types of administrative control that exist. Under that, we are going to see that there are two types of administrative control, which include direct control, otherwise known as hierarchical control, and external control. Under external control, we'll look at judicial control, parliamentary control, and control by civil society. I come again. I said we're going to look at the type of administrative control. By looking at this type, there are two types of administrative control. We have internal control and external control. So internal control can either be hierarchical or supervisory control, and external control can either be judicial, parliamentary, or controlled by civil society. After that, we'll look at the objectives of administrative control. We'll also look at the limitations and challenges of administrative control. Then we'll look at the legal framework of administrative control. Then we conclude. So that's the program for our today's class. And then, when we talk of administrative control and control of the administration, the question is who or what constitutes the administration. You need to know that the administration is vested with the power to care for the day-to-day needs, the day-to-day well-being of the citizens. So when we talk of administration, we are referring to the presidency, the prime ministry, or services related to the prime ministry, the various ministries, the governors, services, the services of the DO and the SDO, and so on, and even the services of a traditional ruler and the quarter heads, all fall within the activities of the administration. So now, the point is, administrative control is very important. These people that have this power, that have this duty, they need to be controlled. You cannot give power to people and you don't control them. You cannot give guns to people without controlling them. They will simply begin to do whatever they want to do that pleases them with the power that has been given to them. They are going to abuse that power. We are going to have what is known as abuse of power, abuse of discretion, bad governance. So that is why administrative control is very important. Also, you yourself, you're writing this concours because you want to become a civil servant. You want to work with the government. You want to serve the people of Cameroon in the name of the state of Cameroon. You want to become a state agent. So by the time you have now passed this concours and you are now working within the public service of Cameroon, if you are not controlled, you will simply be doing what you want. If your boss in the office does not quarrel at you when you come late, if your boss in the office just watches you when you come late, when you leave anytime you want to go, you just travel without taking permission, then you will simply gain that power to do anything that you want to do. But when you are controlled internally and externally, it is giving you a sense, it's going to make you a responsible worker within the public service. It's going to fight the problem of inertia in public service. So now, what is administrative control? Administrative control simply refers to a mechanism which public authorities use in order to supervise, to evaluate, and to guide administrative activities. So this is a mechanism that, when we talk of administrative control, is a mechanism that public authorities will use. They will use this mechanism in order to supervise the institutions, to evaluate, to guide the activities of the administration. And at the end of this, when administrative control is effective, the end result is the principle of legality. The institutions and administrators will not do anything contrary to the law when they are under control. The end result is what? Efficiency. The end result is what? Accountability and good governance. So you can see clearly that the reason for administrative control, the primary aim of administrative control, is to prevent the abuse of power, is to ensure legality in public service, is to maintain efficiency in public service, and to protect the satisfaction of general interest. Remember, the object of public service is what? To satisfy general interest. So once once general interest or the common good of citizens are not taken into consideration, then that is a total violation of the principle of public service. So now we are going to move on to look at the type of control, which I earlier mentioned. We have internal control and external control. So I'm going to start with type 1, which is internal control. In simple term, internal control means what? Control of the administration by the administration. That means control within the administrative unit, control within the same institution. So when we come to the internal control, we have either supervisory control or hierarchical control. When we talk of hierarchical control or direct control, it simply means that here it is your boss that is exercising the control over you. I mean your direct boss in the office. If you are a lecturer in the university, your direct boss is the dean of studies. If you're a lecturer in the university, your direct boss is the rector or the vice chancellor. If you're a secretary to the DO is your direct boss. So now when your direct boss is the person that is exercising control over you, that kind of control is known as a hierarchical control or direct control. So here, two people are involved. We have the person that is exercising the control, who is known as the hierarchy. And then we have the person who is being controlled, who is the subordinate. So how can this control take place? The issuing of orders, supervising decisions, and sanctioning misconduct are ways that the hierarchy use to control their subordinate. Meaning that when you come late, you need to be sanctioned. When you make a decision, your boss need to supervise. The governor need to look at the decision of this particular SDO. If that decision is timely, legal, and important. So that's what we call direct or hierarchical control. Not just that, he can issue orders to the subordinate as a way of control. Order constitute the subordinate to carry out an activity or to stop doing a particular activity. So for example, the DO is being supervised by the SDO. It's a way of hierarchical control. Then the second type of internal control now is supervisory control. When we talk of supervisory control, here we refer to control of the administration by another by another authority who is not of that same institution. Like for example, we have the minister of higher education interfering into matters of the university, which is an autonomous administrative institution. So when the authority that is being controlled is having a certain degree of autonomy, then the hierarchy, and another person which is higher than that person from within the administration, from a different institution within the administration, come to interfere into matters that are above that administrator. We call it supervisory control. So when we talk of direct control here, I would like you to know that direct control can be in any. Your boss can control all anything that he sees that you are doing that is not correct. You can't let, he will sanction you. You take bad decisions, he will cancel it, and so on. But when we come to supervisory control, you will need to know that this kind of control usually focus on one aspect. As a matter of fact, supervisory control focuses only on two things, which are legality and public interest. So the number one is legality. Number two is what? Public interest. To the satisfaction of general interest. That general interest should not be violated. So, but direct control can constitute anything. When the Minister of State, Minister of Higher Education interfere into matters concerning maybe University of Yaoundé one because it's above the rector, he has to concentrate only on that one, even if there are other things that are not going well. The rector, they will fall within the domain of the rector to make up things. So that is it. That's what we call hierarchical control and supervisory control, right? Directly, even though there are others, but these are the most important. So now we have to look at external control. What is external control? It is simple. This is now the control of the administration by hierarchies, by authorities out of the administration. I come again. The first type of administration was what? Internal. The first type of administrative control was internal control, meaning that control of the administration by the administration, meaning that the person who is exercising control is also an administrative authority. But this time around, the person who is exercising control is not an administrative authority. So that's why we talk of external control. This control is to ensure legality, transparency, and accountability. What are the forms of external control I earlier mentioned? Number one, judicial control. 2, parliamentary control. And 3, control by civil society. And we're going to enlarge more. We're going to talk more on civil society when we get there. So control of the administration, the judicial control, that will be the first thing that we're going to be looking at. So how does the judiciary control the administration? We have courts in Cameroon, and notably the administrative court. The courts that can be seized on matters relating to the administration and bad governance and so on is the administrative court, because it reviews administrative acts for legality and constitutionality. It can annul an administrative act when it is illegal. It can order the administration, it can give an injunction to the administration, which constitute an order. An injunction is a court order which carries either an order to do something or to stop doing something or to retaliate. So that's what an injunction may look like. And in the in the court, in the administrative court, when the administration is liable, the administration will have to pay the fine and so on. So it is a way of controlling the administration, so that the mayor knows that if I take decisions that are illegal, the administrative court can cancel. The DO should know that if I take decisions that are illegal, the administrative court can cancel. governors should know that if I take decisions that are illegal, those decisions can be challenged before the administrative court and they will be cancelled. The administration should also know that if their actions cause prejudice to citizens, that they can be brought before the administrative court and they will pay for damages. So the court that has the jurisdiction to hear administrative matters or matters relating to the administration between citizens and administrators is known as what? The administrative court. Now, when was this administrative court established in Cameroon? When was administrative court established in Cameroon? We are getting to that very soon. So, and then we'll move ahead directly. We'll go and look at the parliamentary control. The parliamentary control, that is control of the administration by the parliament, by the lawmakers. You need to now remember that during separation of power, we said that the parliament have two functions. Number one, to make law, and number two, to control the government. It means, first of all, controlling the administration is one of the functions of the parliament. And the making of law, they can also make laws that control the parliament, so that control the administration. So, for example, how does the parliament control the administration? Number one, the parliament control the administration by lawmaking. Remember that in the hierarchy of norms, legislations or legislative texts which constitute laws enacted by parliament can be administrative. We have procedural administrative law and substantive administrative law. So when the parliament enacts a law that relates to, that gives a function to the administration, it is one aspect of administrative law, and as a result, it is one of the ways that the parliament can use to do or to control the administration. So here we talk of parliamentary control. They make sure that the executive remain accountable to the people. The parliament, they vote state budgets, meaning that they are the ones to adopt the budget of the government. It is another way of controlling the financial resources that are going to be available for the government for the various ministries to run their various activities. So it's another way of control. And remember that they can question a minister when they see that the actions of the minister are not for the satisfaction of general interest. More to that, the prime minister, the prime minister of Cameroon appears before the parliament every year, once every year, to give an account of government actions and activities. And the parliament even have the power to pass a vote of no confidence and remove the prime minister from office with his ministers. So you see, they have a tool that the parliament can use to control the executive. They can even impeach the president of the republic and the prime minister for offenses like high treason and so on. So the parliament have that power. They can control the executive or the administration. So now we can also talk of the control by independent administrative authorities. When we talk of independent administrative authorities, we look at the Supreme State Audit, we look at the National Anti-Corruption Commission, CONAC, we look at Elections Cameroon, ELECAM. So immediately after this, we'll be moving to the control of the administration by the civil society. So you see that CONAC, which is an anti-corruption commission, they have a way to control the administration to make sure that their actions are not corrupt. The administration should not be corrupt. We have the Supreme State Audit, and we have ELECAM, and we have others. They mentor public expenditure, and the integrity of public service, as well as administrative ethics. Now, let's talk about control by civil society, which include both the international community and the national society. They exercise what is known as indirect control, but this indirect control is very powerful. We even have control by the media. All these are classified under the civil society. They don't directly control the government, but they have a way, an indirect way, to control the administration. We have the NGOs as well. Then we have the population, the citizens or the people have a way of controlling the government. We have opposition parties. Opposition parties also form part of this civil society. They can also control the government. Let me explain how. We have pressure groups like trade unions who can mount pressure on the government. And remember, to control someone does not simply mean that you have given an order for the person to follow. You have given an authorization to the person. When you are able to influence someone's decision, you have controlled that person. So you can influence someone to happily take a decision, or to take a decision in order to please you. Then you have controlled that person. So when pressure group like trade unions, they mount pressure on the government, and the government finally does something that is favorable for them, then they have succeeded in controlling the government. For example, we have the teachers trade union who mounted pressure on the government, and the government increased their salary. We have the lawyers trade union, the bar council, the doctors council, and so on. When they mount pressure, even the taxi drivers trade union, when they mount pressure on the government and the government succeed to construct a particular road for them, they have succeeded to control the government. We have NGOs and the international community. We have opposition political parties like SDF, MRC as of now, PCRON of Cabral Libya, and so on. So this opposition party, even though they have not won election to come to power and implement their policy, they can still control the government by pressure. They cannot take the decision, but they also bring their own policy and propose to the government that is in power. And sometimes you see the government may adjust their own policy a bit, meaning that they have also been able, you can see, for example, in the early 1990s, when SDF was very influential and powerful, they pressured the government to enact the 1990 Liberty Laws. They pressured the government to create ELECAM, and so that ELECAM will be what? An independent body to manage elections in Cameroon, and also to enact the electoral code. So you can see that even opposition parties that they have not won election to come to power, they still have a mechanism that they can use to control the government that is in power. Also remember that when it comes to the Constitutional Council, the people that have the power to seize the Constitutional Council, we have political parties among. That means we have the President of the Republic, we have the President of the Senate, and we have President of the National Assembly, we have President of the Regional Council, then we have political parties or political leaders. So even though citizens don't have access to the Constitutional Council, a political party, when they see that there is a disorder when it comes to constitutionality in Cameroon, can seize the Constitutional Council. Or when it comes to elections, national elections, electoral disputes are being the only body that is competent to hear such dispute is the Constitutional Council. And so the political party, opposition party, can seize the Constitutional Council for that. So these are ways that the administration can be controlled by the international community. So now we are going to, before we look at the legal framework, let's go ahead and discuss the objectives of administrative control. It includes what? To ensure the principle of legality, to make sure that the the administrators, they are working in accordance with the law to promote transparency, accountability, and efficiency in public service, to detect and punish corruption, acts of corruption, and mismanagement of public funds. Also to uphold citizens' right and administrative justice, to make sure that citizens, they begin to trust institutions, because when institutions are not being controlled, they do whatever they like, and their trust for institutions will die down. But when the citizens' rights are being respected and administrative justice is rendered to the people of Cameroon, then people are going to gain trust in institution. And also the quality of public service. You need to know that anytime you are being controlled in the while you are rendering a particular service, anytime you are being controlled, you always do it well. Yes. So even though there are some limitations, and these are the limitations we are going to be talking about right now. Limitations include political interference, which may compromise independence and objectivity. So when political interference is there, for example, when the administration is being controlled and in excess, you need to know what I mean here is too much of a thing is going to be distorting rather instead of building. So political interference to the fact that if you are an inspector and then you have to visit a particular institution in Cameroon, and your visit is so often, you see that most of the time, instead for the people in that institution to be doing what they are supposed to do, they'll be busy preparing report that when you come, they will give you this report. When you come, this is what, because when you come, you need to check their actions, check their books, check everything. So they will be busy making by the report instead of working. So that is why political interference will be bad to an extent. When it is in excess, it is going to be bad. If you are a delegate for a secondary education in a particular region, and all the time you are sending people to schools almost every day, so you see that teachers are no longer going to be making lessons to really be teaching, because all their time that they make sure the curriculum, everything is in order. They make sure charts are there so that when you come, they will show you. But then the teaching which has to take place in the classroom may not be effective as a result of that. So that is those are some of the limitations. We have also limited resources. We have limited resources and personnels. Then we have slow judicial processes. Slow judicial processes when it comes to judicial control, and weak enforcement of orders and laws. So now let us go to the legal framework of administrative control in Cameroon. And I asked you a question before of when the administrative court was created in Cameroon, and I said we're coming to that. So the administrative court was created by law number 2006/022 of 29 December 2006. This law lays down the organization and functioning of the administrative court. I come again, law number 2006/022 of 29 December 2006. We also have the Supreme State Audit that was created in 2011. The Supreme State Audit was created by law number 2011/008 of 6 May 2011. Then we have the law on decentralization, the law that oriented decentralization, I mean the one before 2019, because we have the law number 2019/024. That's not the law I'm talking about here. I'm talking about law number 2004/017 of 22nd of July 2004 to orientate on the orientation of decentralization. We also have the Constitution of Cameroon 1996. Yes. Why? Because the Constitution had established principles of administrative legality and judicial review inside of the Constitution. Now we also have regulatory powers of the president, prime minister, and ministers, circulars, decrees, and ordinances. They are also legal instrument that can be used to control the administration. Conclusion. In our today's class, we have been looking at administrative control and control of the administration. And there, after defining, we look at the objective. We look at the types of administrative control and control of the administration. Then we discussed, under that we said they have internal control and external control. For internal control could be direct control, otherwise known as hierarchical control, could be supervisory control. Then under external control, we said it can be judicial control, parliamentary control, or control by civil society. We looked at the objective of administrative control, then the limitations that come with it, and we have just looked at the legal framework of administrative control in Cameroon. So it is important to note that effective administrative control is essential for good governance, public trust, and the rule of law in Cameroon. A combination of both the internal and the external mechanisms will ensure that the administration act within the law and the satisfaction of general interests. So, there are reforms that are ongoing in Cameroon that to better shape what is known as administrative control, to enhance performance and integrity in the control mechanisms. So that is it for our today's class on the topic administrative control and control of the administration. Drop your questions if you have some, and then we are going to visit them and answer them. Thank you for taking the lesson, and goodbye.